What is an hypothesis? Okay. If no one wants, then let me give you. Hypothesis is basically a statement. Okay, statement in which you assume about a relationship between two variables. Okay. Normally, we can determine relationship between more than two variable also, but for you, we will suggest you find out the relationship between two variables only. And then this relationship has to be logical. And how do you find that the relationship is logical or not? That depends on your observation that you will do before selecting a topic, and also your observation of the previous research works. That is how you have to assume about a particular relationship between two variables. And then you have to assume things like there is no relationship or there is relationship, like that. Okay. If it is two types of hypotheses are there, we'll cover that today itself. So if one hypothesis is there is no relationship between the two variables, and the other hypothesis has to be there is relationship. Okay. And then out of these two hypotheses, one will be selected, the other will be rejected. And depending on your selection mode, listen to me carefully. Okay. When I ask you that explain, tell me, give me a recap, you should be able to say no. Then I'll also feel good that whatever I'm teaching, you're listening to me, right? So once the hypothesis gets selected or rejected, then you can take decision. Okay. Then yesterday we did what is the meaning of variable and what is the meaning of attribute. So we did what one variable can have attributes, two or more attributes. Okay. So we have studied the example of gender and agreement. So I'm not going into detail of it. Those who were present yesterday, you will get to know. If not, please look at the class recordings. I'm uploading every day. Okay. So since variables was done, today we will do types of variables. What are the different types of variables? Okay. The theory portion can come from this area, and this will be required for your hypothesis formulation also. So first classification is explanatory versus extraneous variable. The variables selected for analysis are called explanatory variables, and all other variables that are not related to the purpose of the study but may affect the dependent variable are extraneous variable. Yes, take the example of yesterday, distribution of free samples and amount of cell. These two are related. The amount of cell is dependent on the distribution of free samples. So these two variables which you have taken for analysis are called explanatory variables. Listen to me carefully. So whatever two variables you'll be taking, till now, those who have contacted me, I have found two variables you are taking. All of you are taking two variables and trying to find out relationship between the two variables. That is very good. So the variables which you are selecting for analysis, for evaluation, are called explanatory variables, right? And the other variables, like I said yesterday, that during that time when you were studying the distribution of free samples and the effect of it on the amount of cell, at that time the store design was also changed at that time. So that is one variable which you are not taking into your analysis, but that variable is majorly impacting the dependent variable, that is the amount of cell. Okay, so this kind of things can be classified into explanatory and extraneous. So the variables which you are taking for study are called explanatory, and the other variables that has an impact on the factor on the data which you are taking as a dependent one. That means which changes with the change of the other. Amount of cell changes with the change in the distribution of sample, right? So the amount of cell is called dependent variable. That is a dependent that depends on the distribution of free sample. So apart from this, all other variables will be called extraneous variable. Is that clear? Please tell me, are you clear about this? Have you understood what is the meaning of explanatory and extraneous variables?
Ma'am, can you repeat it once again, ma'am?
Okay. Suppose you are taking two variables for study. One is one is the distribution of the free sample and one is the amount of sale. So both are related, as I told you, both are related because the amount of sale, it depends on the distribution of the free sample. The more free sample you're distributing, the amount of sale is increasing also, because people are getting interested in buying the product. So these two variable which you are taking for analysis, which you will include in your research study, these two variables are called explanatory variables. And some other variables which you have not taken for study, but that will also have an impact on the amount of sale, like the design of the stores, the behavior of the salesperson, the availability of goods at all time. These are factors which you have not taken for study, but they also affect the amount of sale. Those variables are called extraneous variable. Is that clear now, Ayush?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the first type of classification. One is explanatory and one is extraneous. Next classification is called dependent versus independent variable. So in this example itself, the distribution of free sample and the amount of cell. Now try to think that this amount of cell is dependent on the distribution of the free samples, right? So this amount of cell is the dependent variable and the distribution of free samples is the independent variable. You get me? And also the other variables which are affecting the amount of cell, those are also independent variable. Take another example: number of COVID cases and the amount of sale of masks. These two are related somehow. So this number of COVID cases is an independent variable that is affecting the amount of sale of masks. So the amount of sale of mask is a dependent variable that depends on the increase in the number of COVID cases. Then sale of sanitizers also is a dependent variable. Are you getting? The variable that changes in relationship to changes in another variable is called dependent variable. So the variable which will keep on changing with respect to the change in another variable, this variable is called dependent variable. And the variable whose change results in the change in another variable is an independent variable. That means the variable which is changing with respect to the changes in another variable. That variable is called dependent. That depends on the change of the other variable. And the variable which is resulting into the change of the other variable. That means this is more powerful. The independent variable is more powerful. This is bringing the change in the dependent variable. This is called independent variable. Or an independent variable is the one that influences the dependent variable in either a positive way or negative way. That means this independent variable can either increase the other variable or can decrease the other variable. If it is increasing, then it is a positive way. If it is decreasing, then it is a negative way. That means the independent variable is increasing, the amount of distribution of free sample is increasing. If the amount of cell is also increasing, then it is a positive way. And if the number of distribution of free sample is increasing, but the amount of cell is decreasing, then that is a negative way. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you? Tell me. Please unmute and tell. Is it clear? Can I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So hypothesis or research hypothesis is a predictive statement that relates an independent variable to a dependent variable. Simple. So this statement will include both the variables which you have selected. Okay. So in a research proposal, you will have to prepare the hypothesis in a way that it includes both the variables which you have selected for analysis. Okay. So it is a predictive statement. As I was telling, there is no relationship or there is relationship. Like that, it is a prediction. No, there is no relationship. It is a prediction. Then you will analyze this prediction. You will test this prediction like that. So when you are writing the hypothesis statement, you will have to include both the variables, that is independent as well as dependent variable. Then hypothesis must contain at least one independent and one dependent variable. So I will suggest you and I'll insist on you that select two variables only. Not necessary to select more than two variables. The best research result comes out when you select two variables only. Okay. So you will include two variables. One is independent and one is dependent. Hypothesis must contain at least one independent and one dependent variable. Then hypotheses are tentative, intelligent guesses as to the solution of the problem. So, say, Pratiksha, what was your topic? Tell me again.
Impact of income on brand loyalty.
Okay, impact of income on brand
Brand
loyalty.
loyalty.
Okay, income of what? Income of consumers.
Yes, ma'am. Income of consumers.
Okay, income of consumers and the brand loyalty. So
Yes.
there has to be intelligent guesses within you that um, in the amount of income can affect the brand loyalty, right? Suppose I am having good amount of income, so I will buy iPhone. I'll buy iPhone. Okay, and this income is constant and every year it is increasing, so next year I can buy one iPhone for my family member. Okay, but if for COVID reason the income has not increased, rather it has decreased, it has happened for some industry, right? So suppose it will decrease, then that will impact my buying of iPhone, right? So in that case I won't be able to loyal to the brand, right? So I can guess that there is a relationship between the income level of the consumer and the brand loyalty, right? So the, what I will guess in the hypothesis, I will tell that there is relationship between income of the consumer and brand loyalty. And other statement can be there is no relationship between income of the consumer and brand loyalty, like that. Then hypothesis is a specific statement of prediction. It describes in concrete terms what you expect to happen in the study. So I am expecting that there will be relationship between the income of the consumer and the brand loyalty, right? But there can be the other way also. So in the next statement itself, I'll say that there is no relationship. Both way I'll have to test. Okay, both ways I'll have to test. There is relationship, there is no relationship. Now it depends on the data that I'll collect and the hypothesis way that I'll test, what will be selected and what will be rejected. Are you understanding, everyone? How will you determine the hypothesis? How will you write the hypothesis? Are you getting my point? I hope so. Okay, so hypothesis is an assumption about the population of the study. Now, this is very important to everyone who are messaging me. I'm telling to everyone, select a particular study. Otherwise, in our research work classes, we were taught that when you select, suppose Pratiksha's example only, the impact of income on brand loyalty. If you say this statement, no, this is a big funnel. It looks like a big funnel. But what is the objective of a funnel? It reduces, and it when the water or oil, whatever you are filling in a bottle, when it falls into the bottle, only a small line of that liquid falls, isn't it? So when you are saying impact of income on brand loyalty, it is you are filling the liquid in the funnel, but you'll have to narrow it down and make it fall in the bottle in a single line, and that single line is possible if you select an area. If you select an area, suppose for Pratiksha's example, she can select North Bengal, she can select Siliguri. and then start collecting data from people around in and around North Bengal.
Or, ma'am, I have a question again that
Hmm.
we can do even like based on a particular product to narrow down the whole objective or like the whole
Yes,
topic.
yes, you can do. But in that case, your selection of the respondent, that is people, will become limited, because that
Yeah,
particular product has to be consumed by the
consumed
people
by.
from,
Mm,
yeah. So in
yes.
that case, what you can do is brand. You can put certain brands, brand. Just put brand, top brand, middle brand, low brand, like that. You can put, and then ask the consumer in a general sense that are you loyal to the brand? Did you keep buying this item? Did you buy always used to consume the top rated rice? Now income is affecting your consumption of the top rated rice, like that you can ask questions. So if you select a product, that will become limited for you. Then you'll have to select from those customers only, those who consume that product, otherwise your data will be invalid, right? So best way is narrow it down by selecting an area. Then it delimits the area of research and keeps the researcher on the right track. So if you're selecting an area and then moving ahead, no, then you are going on the right track. There, we don't do something which is, general. In general, don't do anything. You are doing a research to find something, no, which will be helpful for the community around you. So do something which is helpful for the community. Then what is problem versus research? Okay, hypothesis is an assumption that can be tested and can be proved to be right or wrong. By now, I think this is clear to everyone that hypothesis is nothing but an assumption about the study which you are conducting, and hypothesis can be tested and it can be either proved wrong or either proved right. A problem is a broad question which cannot be directly tested. A problem can be scientifically investigated after converting it into a form of hypothesis. So, I started discussing this subject by identification of a problem. So, with a problem, you cannot, numerically move ahead. You cannot, investigate your case. For investigating your problem, you have to transform it into an hypothesis. That is why hypothesis is very important to be present in a research proposal. Be it proposal, be it the entire research work, presence of hypothesis is very important. But from where this hypothesis is coming? This is coming from the problem that you have identified in the very beginning, isn't it? That problem has to be now transferred into an hypothesis and then you test it. That will definitely prove your objective. Okay, now characteristics. I'm just not spending time here because we are almost at the fag end of this class and I have to finish it. So characteristic, you can, these are all theoretical portion, not required now for writing the research proposal. But the sources of hypothesis is important. So, what is from where you will find out the sources? Discussion with colleagues and experts about the problem, its origin, and objectives in seeking a solution. Talk to your friends, talk to the teachers, talk to any expert who has done research. Okay, like that only you are going to formulate the hypothesis. Like today, Pratiksha is having conversation with me regarding the hypothesis. I am sure she has developed in her mind that what she will write in the hypothesis. So, with discussion, this problem can be solved. Then, examination of data and records of possible trends, peculiarities related to your topic, whatever data and records are available, what was the previous trend that you can review. Then, review of similar studies. Do some review, 2 or 3 paper you see with hypothesis, that will also give you an idea about how to formulate the hypothesis in your study. Then exploratory personal investigation, observation. This you will already do in the problem identification stage. Still, if you are finding doubt in transforming the problem into an hypothesis, you can do the observation again. Then logical deduction from the existing theory, continuity of research, intuition and personal experience. This can help you to formulate an hypothesis. Then types of hypothesis. Example, what can be a descriptive hypothesis look like? This will be some assumptions that will describe the characteristics such as size, form or distribution or of a variable. The variable may be an object, person, organization, situation, or an event. For example, public enterprises are more amenable for centralized planning. These are descriptive study. Okay, these are descriptive hypothesis where the statement will be a broad one and it will be general. In general, it will be written. Okay, and here description about the characteristics of a variable will be written. Next is relational hypothesis. Do this one. Okay, do this one. Relational hypothesis you do. First one is explanatory hypothesis. For example, families with higher incomes spend more for recreation. Okay. Likewise, in Pratiksha's example, she can write families or consumers with higher incomes buy costly brands. Like that, she can write. Then causal hypothesis. In causal hypothesis is the best hypothesis. Here you need to write or talk about the relationship or the effect of the independent variable into the dependent variable. Okay, this is the perfect type of hypothesis where you talk about the relationship, cause and effect relationship. What is the cause? Cause is generated by the independent variable. And what is the effect? Effect is on the dependent variable, isn't it? So here you talk about the effect and impact of the independent variable into the dependent variable. Null hypothesis. H naught. There is no relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation. Can you see the difference in descriptive? In this explanatory hypothesis, you wrote families with higher income spend more for recreation. Now you are gradually becoming more precise. H naught, you are writing there is no relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation. And H1 you will H naught, H1 or HA. One is H naught, that is null hypothesis. Normally in null hypothesis we write no. We write no, no relationship, no similarities, no difference. Like that we write. And in the alternative hypothesis, this is just the reverse. There is a different definite relationship between family's income and expenditure on recreation. The alternative hypothesis will be just the opposite of null hypothesis. Then forms of relationships, non-directional versus directional. There is a relationship between x and y. If x goes up, y, or as x increases, y will decrease or increase. Then x is linked to y. X is the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. This will come when you will do the research work under your respective guides. Okay, then they will teach you better. That depends on the type of research that your guides are wanting. It's something like if x changes, that is increase or decrease, then y, what will happen to y? That is a causal relationship, causal link. Okay, if one is increasing, what will happen to the other? Then direction of relationship. If x increases, y also increases. That means it is a positive relationship. If x increases, then if y is decreasing, then it means a negative relationship. I told you this one just a minute ago. Just few minutes ago. Then non-directional have okay, I'm not going to confuse you more, but you should be able to understand what is the how to create the hypothesis. Can you create a hypothesis now? Tell me. That this direction of relationship that will come once you do the study. Okay, don't look at these portions. The portions which are there in your screen right now, don't look at this portion. Look till this much. Alternative hypothesis. Okay, alternative hypothesis, null hypothesis. Basically, in your research proposal, I rather insist on you write null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. In null hypothesis, you will write there is no relationship between the variables which depends on your selection of the area. And in alternative hypothesis, you will write there is a definite relationship between the two variables. Is that clear? Is that clear? How do we write the hypothesis? We begin with identifying the problem. Now the problem has to be transformed into proper hypothesis. Okay, the problem has to be transformed into proper hypothesis now. In order to do that, you should be able to predict some relationship between your selected variables for study. Is that clear? Can you write hypothesis now? Tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and in your research proposal, which you are supposed to submit on 26th, you will have to include hypothesis. Okay, rest of the things are easy. Only this formulation hypothesis, I told that I'll teach you and then only you'll be able to write. So I've taught you. I hope you have understood. If not, you can ask me later on also. And tomorrow I'm going to college at 11 a.m. So if anyone wants to ask anything, you can come. Ayush, you're raising hands.
Ma'am, that was a mistake.
Okay. Alright. Be slow today. Okay, please respond. Ayush Pradhan,
Yes, ma'am.
Abhishek, Ankita, Orgo, Ayush Chaurasia,
Yes, ma'am.
Bikram,
Present, ma'am.
Deepa,
Present, ma'am.
Divesh, Diksha, Isha, Hemant,
Yes, ma'am.
Hemant, Jasmeet, Lando, Pema, Pulamu, Pooja,
Present,
Prajwal,
ma'am.
Praraj, Prashant, Pratiksha,
Yes, ma'am.
Prayas, Rajeshwari,
Yes, ma'am.
Ronak, Reena, Ritik, Sahil, Sejal, Sejal, Sheetal,
Ma'am, Pema Kanjan present, ma'am.
Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, present.
Yes, yes, Pema.
Ma'am, Pema
Ma'am, even
Kanjan
I'm
present, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Who is
Present,
this?
ma'am.
Shruti. Another one,
Yes, ma'am.
other than Pema, someone was telling.
ma'am me.
Who?
I'm
Give me their
Prajwal.
name. I cannot see. Prajwal. Okay. Prajwal. Praraj is present or not? Shubham, Sparsh, Srishti, Swikar, Valusha,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Wangchu, Yogesh, Yonten.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can leave the meet.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ankita, Pema, Sheetal, okay.